Be systematic with your conditioning. It's so important. Getting fit for rugby is a 4 to 6 week endeavour. It's one of the easiest attributes to train in terms of how quickly your body responds and adapts to what you throw at it. And in this video, we're going to cover how to take your aerobic fitness to the next level. Hey guys, it's Fraser and welcome back to my channel. This is the channel where you will have principles, methods, tips and takeaways regarding athletic training. Now it sounds cheesy, but my hope is that I give you something today that's actionable, that influences your tomorrow in a positive way. As cheesy as it sounds, that is why I'm making videos. Now we're talking aerobic capacity in this video, and I'm going to share with you 3 tried and tested methods that the pros use to get fit for rugby. Stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you an example of how to bring this together in season and probably most appropriately pre-season. If you're in a real hurry and you need to skip ahead, that's the timestamp that you're looking for. Obviously, aerobic fitness is one piece of the puzzle when it comes to training and being fit in general for rugby. If you're interested in speed and a diagnostic approach and how to get faster, then you're going to want to click on this video that I'm linking here, and that will take you to a speed video I did a couple of weeks ago. First of all, you've clicked on this video because you're proactive. You want to know the fastest, the best ways to get fitter for rugby. Awesome. But you know that you're only as strong as your weakest link in a team sport. And I bet that you have teammates or a group of teammates or friends that don't value fitness the same way that you do. So how do you get these people round to your way of thinking? Now, I don't want to speak in generalizations. It might be a front row friend, a prop, that says, I'm just there to win the scrum. That's my job, that's what I do, I'm good at it. It might be a winger or fullback that's maybe just a little bit too cool for school, and yeah, I get past the first guy all the time, no problem, don't worry about it, don't need fitness, I've got speed. Okay, how do you get these people on your side so that they can make the team stronger? Let me help you articulate in a way that overcomes their objections and just blows that out of the water so you can get to working on fitness as a group. This will also allow me to give a professional tip of the hat to any strength and conditioning coaches that might be watching. In short, the fitter you are, the more you're going to enjoy rugby, because the more involved you'll be and the greater contributions you'll make to your team. For those that are interested, check out the description below because I'm going to link in research that you can look up in your own time. I will quote one bit of research, if that's okay, by Cunningham and his colleagues in 2018, so pretty recent. And they looked at, and we'll talk forwards first, they looked at the guys that did best on the fitness test were the players who made the most tackles, had a higher success rate in those tackles. They were more likely to be the first 3 players at a ruck in attack and defence, and they weren't bullied at the ruck. They had a higher success rate at the rucks. Okay, so what does that tell you about being fit? Furthermore, they even found that the fitter the players were, the more likely they were to have a higher percentage of breaking past the gain line. So These are all things that you want to talk about when you're having your water after the game with your friends. Oh, did you see how it blew past this person, or did you see that hit? So being fit allows you to be in a position where you can do that. Now the backs need to be fast, agile and powerful, okay? You have the 9 that maybe runs the most meters in the game because he's the linking player. Maybe it's the 15 because he has to work with the wingers and this pendulum effect and the kick and chase. Backs need to be fit as well. They need to be fit because they need to be at their fastest as much as possible. So you might have a big explosive 30-meter sprint and maybe have incomplete recovery, like 10, 20 seconds as a ruck, and then you need to be ready to go again. The fitter you are, the quicker you're going to recover back to your 100% sprint, or as close to as is physiologically possible. Okay, so why get fit? Get fit because it allows you to do more and be more effective on the field. And if you have any players that are still a little bit unwilling, just remind them of that. Many roads lead to Rome, and it just depends on where you are in relation to Rome, okay, and how far you are from Rome, if that makes sense. So it's context dependent. So the information, the drills in this video I'm going to share with you now, they work. They work. How you implement them is going to depend on your situation. And again, if you have questions, comment below and I'll be able to advise on your situation. As you know, there's 3 energy systems. We will talk about anaerobic lactate and alactate training in another video, and I'll give you drills for that in another video. But here we're going to talk about methods that lend themselves to aerobic training and improving aerobic capacity. It makes sense to start there. It gives you a really good foundation, and it's probably where you want to be starting in pre-season. Method number 1 is conditioning games or small-sided games. These are really good because they are multi-directional. They require, agility, thinking, not just systematic straight line running at a tempo. So quite game-like and fun. So there's lots of advantages of including conditioning games in your training. You can manipulate the intensity you want by manipulating time, rest, recovery, just like you can with any other drill. The downside to this is, 1, you might have players that are just too far off the pace to contribute well to the game. So, for example, if there's a variance of aerobic capacity between your team and, say, the backs and the forwards, then the forwards might end up walking and not getting too much out of the drill because they can't keep up with the backs. Overcoming that by organising the players and mixing the players up. Or, and I don't want to be skeptical, but you might have players that just kind of hide a little bit. Now you might use GPS when you're doing this, if you have GPS, and you might find that, hey, number 3, why was your meters per minute at 50 and number 9 was up at 110 meters per minute because you weren't working, Okay, if you don't have the GPS, then it is easy for players to hide. So it's always a good idea to pair conditioning games with method 2 or 3. Method 2, tempo runs. Essentially submaximal sprinting, 70-75%. Very, very popular, very easy to do, and they're great not only for aerobic capacity training, right, but also tissue conditioning, which is something that is sometimes overlooked. So getting your hip flexors, hamstrings, calves just ready and used to running at that higher speed, higher than a jogging speed. So for example, tempo runs, you might go from try line to halfway line in 8 to 10 seconds, so pretty easy. And then use the recovery time, so 50 to 52 seconds, to walk to the next try line, and then repeat. So you're going every minute on the minute, okay? And you obviously adjust sets, reps, and so on for yourself or your athletes. We've had great success running 100-meter tempo runs in our pre-season at Biella in the speed and neuro group. These guys would be running at 6.25 meters per second, so they'd be covering try line to try line in 16 seconds, 15 seconds, and the rest of the time would be recovery on a 60-second rolling clock. And what we found was, yes, they got faster on their 10 and 30 metre time, but that's because of the speed work we were doing, or that's what I attribute it to. But they blew past their Bronco scores. They were absolutely flying. In fact, I remember two of the players telling me, they did their warm-up independently, and they come down and it's Bronco time, and they come up to me and say, Fraser, we just did one rep just to get feeling. It felt so easy to do one rep. We did it in 50 seconds. And I was like, good, okay, that's great. And we didn't do any running other than the tempo runs within that time. So tempo runs are a great way of getting fit. Now, they don't have to just be linear. You can organize your tempo runs to be multi-directional if you want to. Again, it's context dependent. Method 3 involves establishing your max aerobic speed. Now, in the rugby world, and you've probably already done one of these, usually you can take that from a Bronco, which is a 20 and back, 40 and back, 60 and back, times 5 shuttle, so 1.2k shuttle. We won't talk about that too much because I'm going to assume that you've probably done one if you're a rugby player and you know very well what it's like. So once you have your Bronco score, you can program mass off of that. I'm going to throw up an exact example that a group of my guys did last pre-season, and this was the group that were running consistently like 5:55 and 6-minute Broncos, so not good scores. But after this exact protocol, you had the 5:55 guys running at 5:15, so they made significant improvements doing this protocol. So you can be very, very systematic with mass conditioning, just like you can with method 2 and method 1 as well. And that's the key, it's being systematic. Like when you're doing strength training, you have to go, say you've got a 120 squat, you want to get to 200, you don't just rock up to the gym and squat really hard and do that and that's it. You think about it, you plan it out, you periodize it, you follow progressive overload, and the same has to be done with conditioning. You need your hard high days, you need your low days, you need your medium days, and this is something that we'll touch more on in part 2 of conditioning for rugby. But suffice to say, you can organize mass the way that I've thrown up here. So you can go operate at 100%, 110%, 130% seems to be the cap, otherwise you start to get into that sort of tempo running scenario. Okay, so all 3 methods work really well. They can work, and you might do all 3 methods within 1 week, that's fine. It depends how you organize it. If you have any questions on how to organize it, guys, or just any more information that you want from me, you know what to do, put it in the comments below and I will get back to you. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it useful, hit that red button, very much appreciated. If you know somebody that perhaps needs to see this video and work on their fitness or understand a little bit more about it, then please do share with them, and I will see you on the next topic. Ciao for now, guys. All the best. Cheers.